Well, hello, better late than never. How is everyone doing? Okay, I can hear us.
All right, let's see here. Yes, it
Awesome.
appears that we are live in our group. So that's what I was just checking. I mean, it's always good for us to check because one day I was doing this live and it was just so much fun. And I was on my main profile page. So it's like,
Well, I one time, just a couple weeks ago, I think it was, did a live, and for some reason my microphone wasn't working, so they couldn't hear a thing I said.
oh my gosh.
Well, first
Gotta
off,
love.
let me apologize for being late. I traveled to Colorado today and totally spaced on the time. So, my apologies, but we still want to come in live and share because we're always excited to spend some time with all of you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I made a new graphic for us and I'm going to post it and then I will send it to you too. I'll get it in your group also. It's really cute.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. And Barb said, hello, in car can't hear. And then she said,
Oh,
wait, I can hear now.
gotta love
Yeah,
technology.
I'm telling you, lately technology has not been my friend, but that's
Oh,
all right. You just go with it. I think that's like a really big thing that I have learned is to just go with it.
exactly. I mean, because many times we try and have control over it, but many times it's something else going on.
And the technology gods say, yeah.
That's right. Gotcha. And that's what our business is about too. We have to be flexible and adjust, and that's just the way it goes because we depend on technology so much. So, thank you though all for your patience because you know part of it is being able to hear and being able to see. And so we have to switch things around. So, anyway, all right, I'm going
And
to
then we
post this in.
travel and
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. Being on the phone with AT&T for 2 hours. So,
goodness, what a
technology,
day.
it's kind
Let's
of like,
just relax and chat
I
with
know.
friends.
Exactly, exactly. I was just going to say though, it's kind of like husbands, technology, you can't live with them, but you can't live without them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And Marilyn gave me an out, and I said, no, 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 I can set up. I'm so sorry. And Jim goes, oh, good. I'm going to go outside with Trevor and have a cigar. So I
Oh,
think they were just looking for a reason to.
exactly.
Yeah. So, how would we like to start today, Marilyn? What would you like to share first?
Well, I think, we always start off with why we joined Park Lane. And I like that because, with many of you have shared this story so much. I was an elementary school teacher and I needed some adult conversation. And we owed back taxes. And so it was a necessity. But, what I've come to realize is that I don't need to work this job, but I need this because it brings me joy. And I wouldn't want to miss out on spending time with you and spending time doing our inside scoop and laughing and talking about so many different things. And I love that part of it. And we're flexible. It's just like today we were going to try and do it at a certain time, but things happen and that's okay. And that's a big part of this, is that's what I love, is the flexibility. We work when we want to. It's like you're traveling, you're working. It's not like you go to the office and you have to leave and take vacation time. It's amazing. And it's like we work where we want to. Like I was telling Kim earlier this week that, last week I have a bunch of gals that we get together every now and then, and we've been wanting to get together for coffee, and we've been wanting to get together to see the jewelry. So we just combined the two, and we had a coffee chat. And I brought the jewelry in rollers, and we had coffee, and I just laid out the jewelry to let everybody see it. And within about 45, 50 minutes, we had a little party, and everybody
That's
ordered something, and it was
awesome.
great. And that's what's amazing about, the flexibility of it. I just love that. And I mean, where else can you do that? So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And I'll piggyback on that because we are talking about flexibility and stuff. I originally started because I wanted the discount. I love the jewelry. And I said, hey, I can get paid 30% on my own purchases, still use the customer discount. I'm in. And then I realized that with Jim traveling and our kids being in different states, I could work when and where I wanted. And so today we got up early. I did a quick little stuff checking in at the airport. We flew here. Trevor had to still work. I put in some time. Then we had dinner with the kids. And so it was a really great way to work when and where I want. But then by setting big goals, it became a career instead of just a hobby for me.
Yeah, yeah. And that's where I am also. There's so many things that Park Lane puts out there for us to grab, and gosh, there's no reason not to go for it. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And speaking of going for it, you know, I know my community knows. One thing that I want to talk about overcoming is the fact that I thought I could never earn the trip. And I had to just use the tools that's provided by our team and really stick with it and believe in Park Lane and myself. And not only was I kind of thought, okay, I'm not going to make the trip, but I still wanted to go for the Mercedes card program. And by staying focused, using that as a motivation, I was able to take advantage of triple trip points and earn the trip, but also to qualify for my Mercedes card program. And so I think that's one thing I really had to overcome is believing in myself enough.
And that is amazing that you did that. I'm so excited for you. And what Kim was saying is that using the tools that Parkline provides for us, there was an opportunity that I'm not real sure that they've ever thrown out there before. And to earn this trip, we had to, anytime you do something like that, there's always a requirement. And you don't have to do it if you don't want to. But with what they provided as incentives, there was no reason not to go for it. And that's exactly what Kim did, and that's what Parkland does for us. They provide us those opportunities, and we make that decision if we want to do this or not. And she did, and she worked it, and it was amazing that she earned this trip and so many other things to go along with it. But it just goes to show that the tools that they give us, the training that they give us, and the opportunities that they provide, we can do that. It's a decision that
Right.
we make, and that's what's pretty amazing. And again, with the obstacles, there's so much, and that was my problem over those particular few days. I had to make the decision of what to do. We had so many things, so many family things going on that Jerry and I talked about it, and it was like, it's not something that I could do at this time, but for sure, I will be taking advantage of that for the next time around, and that is an obstacle for me that I had to make that tough decision. But the thing about it is that I I had to make that decision because the opportunity was there. That is what is amazing. And that was a tough call for me, for us, but in the long run, it was better because of all the things that were going on with our family and with my mom, and I needed to do what I needed to do. And there's it's such a busy schedule so many times with so many different things. And that's like, with being grandparents, we want to be involved with our grandkids, and that was one of the things that was going on that weekend. And we've got, with my friends, again, between the four of us, we have 14 grandkids, all of their schedules, our kids' schedules, our schedule. And it's the same thing, we didn't have time for a party, but we wanted to get together. And so I overcame that obstacle of everybody being busy. And so we just had that little coffee chat and had a little party. So it's it's available if we make the time and we overcome the different things that are obstacles, because so many gals have said to me, oh, I just don't have time for it. I get that. It's just like Kim was saying, she was traveling today. She gets that too. We figure it out. We can make it work however we want. So we can
And
overcome that.
right. And one really great thing is that we learn each time.
Yes.
And so even when I didn't think I was going to earn the trip, Marilyn and I, as accountability partners, decided, okay, we're not sure we're going to make this trip, but we're still going to go for our Mercedes. We're going to keep building. And what things have we learned that we could start implementing now to prepare for the next trip? And we've already started doing that. And
Yes.
so I would have to say that one of my favorite things or something I really enjoy is building connections with others, and how they start off as a fellow stylist, and pretty soon you're friends, and then it's like another family. And so, like, Marilyn is my sparkle sister, and we hold each other accountable, and we cheer each other on, and we prop each other up, whatever the case may be. We are partners and family now. And so I guess that's really something I enjoy, is how it's not like you go, oh, I learned this, I'm not going to share with Marilyn because maybe she'll do better than I will. No, we're partners. So I want her to do better than I do, because then it's going to push me to be stronger.
Exactly. I feel the same way. In fact, I wore my sparkles tonight. I got little sparkles on my sweater, or my sparkle sister. But I totally agree. I enjoy that too. Because we have built so much with each other. I have learned, oh my gosh, I've learned so much, and it's just absolutely wonderful. It's fun because, when I was a teacher for so long, almost 40 years, we were able to use our creativity to do so many different things in the classroom. And I loved that part of teaching because, kids don't learn just from books. You have to provide them an experience. And Park Lane allows me that opportunity. whatever crazy idea I have, it's like, hey, Kim, what do you think about this? And then we talk about that and it builds from there. And so I enjoy that. I enjoy that so much because it allows me to still use my creativity, and I'll throw something at Kim and she'll, talk me off the ledge or push me and say, go for it. And I love that apart. I enjoy that so much. The using the creativity and coming up with so many fun ideas. It's just like last week when we strategized about how to get this trip and would it be possible. I loved doing that. And it's not just about the jewelry. It's so much more. And I love that. And
Absolutely.
and it just, brings us into the summer activities. I'm so looking forward to when we get rid of all this rain. We can finally, get outside and do some fun things. I'm just so excited about that. My first little summer activity is gonna be party on the patio next week. And so just doing some fun events, that I'm just really looking forward to that. Now, I'm sure you've got a lot to look forward to, Kim.
Yeah, right now I have to look forward to my granddaughter Abby here, who thinks Mama Kim should be paying attention to her.
I'm sure.
You know, um, I am looking forward to some time with family and friends, like right now when Trevor and Amanda wanted to travel, and
That's so
they
cool.
have three dogs. And so they said, "Well, Mama Kim and Papa Jim come?" Just like you would with grandkids, of course you will. But I'm looking forward to growing together. Marilyn and I have so many plans for what we want to do in the next months. Of course, we're going to have another line drop later in the summer. And well, obviously the trip, but that won't be till next year. So I'm looking forward to strategizing on how we can both earn the next trip.
Yep, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. That's exciting. Oh, well, I should probably let you go so you can enjoy your family.
Yeah. Well,
So,
it's important to us to stop in and to share what we're loving about Park Lane, and also to be real and to share struggles that we've had to overcome, because it's not all fun and games, although a lot of times it is fun and games. We love the time that we spend together with all of you, and we've grown our monthly party, and that is so exciting. And
yes.
so, we just love to come and spend this time and just remind you of what we do love about Park Lane, but also that maybe it wasn't for you when you first started hearing some of this stuff. Maybe it's still not for you, but maybe down the road, some life situation, something will change.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you go, oh, wait a minute. I remember Kim and Marilyn talking about, or maybe you say, wow, that's the third time or fourth time or fifth time I heard Kim talk about, I just started because I wanted to get paid on my own purchases.
Yeah.
But this time it really hit me that I don't have to work for quotas. I don't have to do certain things. I just can do my Park Lane business the way I want to do it.
Right.
Or if you have a family member or a friend that says something about needing a little extra income, refer them to us.
Exactly. Exactly. That's right. It can help so much. Even if it's just, so many of customers, they have kids that are, going to off to college, or they're participating in those elite sports that cost, some money
Yes.
and, or cheering and all of those camps and things, they cost money, even if it's just to make $500, to pay for that. It's so worth it because you not only get the jewelry as a hostess, but you make the paycheck, you get the paycheck too, and you make that on your party. And that's what's pretty amazing about it.
It really is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and even if, and maybe you want some more information, Mary Grace always has the call on Monday nights, and she can provide additional information for you too. But we just like to come in once a month and give you that inside scoop as to what we're doing. It changes each month. There's a lot of consistency, but there's also, a lot of
Yes,
change, which is fun too.
absolutely.
So,
So thanks for joining us tonight, and
absolutely.
we will see you in our group event in about a week.
Yes.
And then we will
Let's see,
see
that's
you.
to June. Yes, that's going into June, isn't it? Wow.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Right. And then I'll have a little survey, also a little Google form for you girls to fill out. We would love to hear, what you have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Right.
thanks for joining us in the Inside Scoop. We appreciate each and every one of you and what you contribute to our business, our life, and to each other.
Exactly. All right. Thanks so
All
much.
right. Thank you.
Enjoy,
Have a
Kim.
great evening. Yes, thank you.
All